everyone! It's time to talk about the mighty Dinobots! And if you want to see us react to, how should I put this? Transformers G1 or Beast Wars, that's over on the Patreon. It's nice.
Yes. Yeah, I think I already reacted to this one.
And my dog is...
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah,
What about the
also...
dog, though? What are they doing now?
They just came into my room, even though they know they're not allowed to when I'm doing
Oh my
stuff.
gosh.
Listen, I love you, puppy. I really do. But on that note... And now they leave. Now they leave. They just leave. What you gonna do? But yeah, Fable also has shorts of us watching Transformers G1 if you want to see that over there. I don't really mind. But anyway. Are you ready, Fable, to learn about the Dinobots? Though you probably already did.
I don't want to learn.
Why?
Pride. That's why.
Oh my god. Why do I deal with this?
I don't know. When do you deal with this?
Oh my god. Anyway, we're going to head into this. So if you want more, you know what to do. I've said the thing 1,000 times, and I'm pretty sure you heard from every other creator ever. Oh, there.
Yes, you give me all your money.
Robots are cool. Dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah?
Rebellious anti-heroes are cool. Ergo, is there anything cooler than rebellious anti-hero robot dinosaurs?
Dinosaur robots are always cool.
The original Dinobots began life as the Dinosaur Robo from the Japanese Diaclone toy line, which were imported by Hasbro to become part of the second year of the Transformers toy range. The classic team consists of the arrogant leader, Grimlock, the Tyrannosaurus, Slag, the fiery-tempered Triceratops, Sludge, the dim-witted Brontosaurus,
Don't at me. Oh boy. I don't know what that's about, but it's probably a thing for later, huh?
How about it?
Snarl, the aloof Stegosaurus, and Swoop, the friendly Pteranodon. Together, they're a team of loose cannons, terrifying powerhouses the Decepticons can rarely stand against, but ones who only follow Optimus Prime's orders begrudgingly, if at all. The original Marvel Comics miniseries presented the Dinobots as part of the crew of the Autobots spaceship when it crashed on Earth 4 million years ago. When the Decepticon Shockwave arrived on the planet soon after, the ship's computer reactivated the Five to battle him, giving them dinosaur alternate modes based on the beasts that lived in the Savage Land, a prehistoric tropical jungle hidden in the Antarctic from Marvel's X-Men comic books. Shockwave trapped the Dinobots in a tar pit where they remained until they were found and freed by Ratchet in the present day. The American comic didn't do much with...
Funny enough, you can find a lot of dinosaur and other type of bones in tar pits. They actually perfectly preserve them, funny enough. It's kind of crazy.
That's great.
It's crazy. Because tar pits suck in everything. And they remove nothing.
With the team for a few years after their introduction, but they became instant favourites of British writer Simon Furman, who penned multiple stories for the UK version of the comic that gave the team starring roles as they struck out on their own adventures.
Nice.
The cartoon, on the other hand, featured a very different origin story. In it, the Dinobots were built on Earth by Wheeljack and Ratchet, who were inspired by the discovery of a cave of fossilized dinosaur bones in the Autobots' volcano headquarters. Just like real dinosaurs, the cartoon Dinobots were small of brain, which led them to speak in a primitive, caveman-like way, and resulted in them causing trouble for the Autobots almost as much as they did for the Decepticons, even turning on their creators more than once. They enjoyed regular, prominent showcase appearances all throughout the series, but their supporting turn in the Transformers the movie marked the beginning of a decline, as it and the subsequent third season exploited their lack of intelligence to downgrade them from fearsome warriors to the series' comic relief.
Oh, no.
It was as the cartoon was reaching its end that the Dinobots returned to the spotlight in the comic when Grimlock was appointed Autobot leader following the death of Optimus Prime. His reign was a tyrannical one that alienated many of the Autobots serving under him, but he remained in charge for nearly 2 years.
Yeah, I heard about this. Matt told me about this one where, apparently they thought he defeated Trypticon. He did not. Trypticon ran out of energy, just kind of left.
The cool part about Grimlock though is some people suspect that he's actually one of the one percenters.
The what?
One percenters is essentially just like Transformers that with unique powers or those that are quote unquote stronger than the others. They're
Oh,
not really sure if that's true or not. The reason I say that is because in Grimlock's stories, a lot of the time he's been known to actually take a beating that many other Transformers would probably have been offline because of that. But the thing is, a lot of people suspect he's actually a lot more stronger than he leads on to believe. It's
really?
kind of
Because
interesting.
I always thought all of the Dinobots were very durable and could basically be heavy hitters.
Oh yeah, it's just that in some of the stories that I've seen, especially when it comes to Grimlock stuff, it's believed that he can take a lot more of a beating than the rest of the Dinobots. But yeah, they're a powerful force. It's just some people believe that Grimlock may be a lot more powerful than we give him credit for as a thing. But he's a good leader. He's just a dumbass about it, but he's a good leader. Oh, I love him.
The best version I've seen of him as a leader has been in the Cybertron games, where he believes in the Autobot cause, but he just believes they should be fighting more instead of doing what Optimus Prime thinks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I
Years
think in one of the continuities, so basically because you know how Grimlock talks, like he says, "Me Grimlock," things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, in some of the continuities, he can actually talk normally. It's just that his voice box is kind of broken, and he can only express himself the way he does. But he also does it to annoy people, especially his enemies, because he knows that it bothers them when he speaks like that. It's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Till he and the rest of the Dinobots were offlined by the cosmically empowered Starscream.
Oh,
But
we
by
need
this
to
point,
learn
their
about that at some
popularity
point.
among audiences had
I
become
hate
obvious
the
to Hasbro.
cosmically powered
In
Starscream.
1989, a new classic pretender action figure
Oh,
of Grimlock
yeah.
was released, leading to his resurrection in the comics pages.
just
And the year
what we
after,
needed.
he and Snarl were also given new figures as part of the Action Master
Grimlock
range
has
of
always
toys,
been
precipitating
popular.
the return of the entire
Oh, yeah.
team to the comic
It will
for its
never
final
not be
few
popular,
issues.
I feel like.
And their popularity persisted when the series was rebooted as Transformers Generation 2,
I like
with
this cover
Grimlock,
a lot.
Slag, and Snarl's original toys made available again, and the whole team continuing to appear in the new comic book. Now, as we've talked about in past episodes, when characters are depicted in notably different ways between the Marvel comic and the Generation 1 cartoon, it usually means that writers of new media get to pick and choose and blend different elements from both together when creating new versions of them. But
Yeah.
with the Dinobots, there's virtually no contest. Almost every new take on their origin story goes the Marvel route, depicting them as natives of Cybertron.
I mean,
One of
that
the
makes
first to do
sense.
so was Dreamwave Productions, who revealed through their comics that on Cybertron, the team were known as the Dinobots with a Y, and were part of a larger Lightning Strike Coalition splinter faction led by Grimlock. In fact, the only major exception to
Cool.
the widespread use of the Marvel-style origin was in
Oh, yeah,
Transformers
this one.
Animated, in which the more cartoon-inspired Dinobots were originally theme park animatronics,
Which I find
modified by
silly and
Megatron
kinda
to
dumb.
function as attack drones, which were inadvertently brought to life by the power of the Allspark. This smaller version of the team consists of Grimlock, who's the only one capable of speech, Swoop, and a Triceratops who was going to be Slag, but had to have his name changed to Snarl when Hasbro discovered that slag is a rude word in the United Kingdom. The animated Dinobots
yes.
lived out of the way on an island in Lake Erie, but often fell under the sway of villains like Meltdown and Black Arachnia, leading to clashes with the Autobots. The Aligned
Of course.
Continuities version of the Dinobots is functionally identical to the Generation 1 team. They
I like his
debuted
sword
in the
here.
Fall of Cybertron video game.
I also
That
want.
looks really good.
Yeah, I really wanted the toy, but it costs so much money, dear God.
2012, which
Good
borrowed
news
from
is,
Dreamwave and named
right
the team.
now, if you want, you can literally pre-order a Grimlock toy with a wheelie. It's essentially from the movie, from G1. It's about like $50. It's probably worth it, especially since you don't have to spend fucking 300 something dollars because eBay is trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for pre-order. It doesn't come out till September. I highly recommend to those of you that want to get it and collect it because you want to, go for it. But if you're a reseller, I'm gonna judge you. I understand that's a valid thing if you're respectful, but still, I'm gonna judge the crap out of you.
Understandable. Sure.
The Lightning Strike Coalition Force prior to their gaining their dinosaur
Yeah,
alternate
they seem
modes.
to be. They seem to always be a strike force for the Autobots, which I don't really mind. It kind of fits their theme, really.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And they got those modes after being captured and experimented on by Shockwave,
Yeah,
who
he
sought
messed
to
with their
turn them into
brains.
berserker warriors by tampering with their genetics, using information gleaned from studying Earth's dinosaurs via space bridge. Sludge was mostly absent from the game, but returned to the team in tie-in comic books, which continued the Dinobots story, detailing how they stayed on Cybertron after it became mostly abandoned, seeking revenge on Shockwave and protecting the few Autobots who remained on the planet. For this version of the team, Slag was renamed Slug, which became the character's new name in all media going forward.
Yeah, I remember.
And that
this.
included IDW Publishing's comic books, which took an additional inspiration from the aligned version of the story by depicting the Dinobots, with a Y, as the victims of a different kind of experimental science. IDW added a sixth member to the team, Scar, a medic who unintentionally cursed his teammates with uncontrollable, monstrous alternate modes based
That
on
sucks.
ancient Cybertronian reptiles when testing out a new means of alt mode adaptation. The mutated Dinobots killed Scar in their frenzy and were forced to go on the run, but were eventually found and cured of their condition by the Autobots.
Oh,
They
nice.
went on to gain their more familiar earthly dinosaur forms in a story that homaged their Marvel origins, when they battled Shockwave on prehistoric Earth, only to wind up buried on the planet for millennia.
I understand
Things
why they
haven't-
went with that art style, but I hate it because it kind of reminds me of Beast Wars. Not in a bad way. It's just I'm so used to seeing Grimlock and the rest of them be more robotic dinosaurs and actual, like full-on actual dino kind of thing.
Same here.
I'm not a fan of it.
I prefer when they're actually robots, like robot dinosaurs, not fleshy dinosaur looking, at least to me.
Gone that well for the team since Awakening in the modern day. Grimlock has wound up mentally impaired and is currently in the care of a group of repentant Decepticons
Oh, yeah,
known
this-
as the Scavengers.
I've heard
while
about
the other
these guys.
Dinobot,
That they basically are a bunch of mentally ill patients, like, who were part of the Decepticons, not really by choice. This seems very reasonable. Who doesn't love a little mecha mutation? True.
Yeah, look, it's
What's this?
Skylink. He's
Sky-
randomly there for some reason.
Yeah, he is.
are outlaws
Skylynx.
living in the wilderness of Cybertron. Now, so far, we've just talked about versions of the Dinobots directly based on the classic characters. But the fact is, as popular as they were and are, the simple innate appeal of something as cool as robot dinosaurs has meant that, over time, the idea of the Dinobots has proven much bigger than the original 5 bots themselves. In addition to their
True.
continuing appearances, the term Dinobot has come to be widely used to refer to a huge array of Transformers with dinosaur alternate modes, not just the original 5. This was most famously evinced as early as 1996 during
Beast
Beast
Wars,
Wars,
yeah.
in which
watching
Dinobot
this
was the
about
name of
him.
an honorable Predacon warrior, a velociraptor who was cast out by his era's version of Megatron and joined forces with the heroic Maximals. Beast Wars Dinobot enjoyed a perpetually antagonistic relationship with his new teammates, especially the smart-mouthed Rat Trap, and grappled with heavy
Rat
issues
Trap.
like identity and free will, ultimately proving his honor by sacrificing his life to stop Megatron from altering history and wiping out mankind.
I'm gonna eventually
An
see
evil
how that
clone was
happened.
engineered by Megatron to take Dinobot's
And this.
place, but the original's goodness shone through, and the clone turned on his maker, leading to his ultimate defeat in the Beast Wars. Dinobot was one of the most popular characters of the
I'll eventually learn all about that as we go through Beast Wars. I don't really mind spoilers as much as some other people, but yeah.
Beast era, and was the first fan-chosen entry into the Transformers Hall of Fame in 2010. And in fiction, his legacy lived on in the Beast Machines Dinobots, another group of dinosaur beast warriors who carried his DNA. Following the Beast era, the first decade of the 21st century brought many more new Dinobots, some of them brand new characters unrelated to the originals, like the Dinobots of the Beast era had been, and others serving as partial homages to the classic team, reusing some of their names, if not their forms. But the
Understandable.
original team's influence would always reassert itself. The Transformers Energon toy line featured
want
its
the
own
combiner.
incarnations of Grimlock and Swoop, who were able to combine together to form Mega Dinobot.
No, I
And
want
we
King
mentioned IDW
Volcanicus.
Scar earlier, but he wasn't the first time a sixth member was added to the Generation 1 Dinobot team. The first was Paddles the Plesiosaurus, a one-shot character featured in a short story.
What?
No.
It's been a while. Hey, Tucker Wolf, how you been? It's good to see you, man. I hope you've been alright.
I'm crying.
I don't know anything about this, so we'll just keep going.
Story in 2004's Transformers Legends Prose Collection. Later, in 2010, the Power Core Combiners toy line introduced
Ooh.
Grimstone, a new character who shared the iconic color scheme of the originals, and who, in Japan, was reimagined as a new rookie recruit for the G1 team. The world of the live-action movies split the difference with
don't really like
2014's
these.
Age of Extinction by featuring all 5 members of the classic team, albeit with Sludge and Swoop renamed Slog and Strafe, respectively, along with 2 new members, Scorn, the Spinosaurus, and Slash, the Velociraptor.
I mean, that's
Only
fine,
Grimlock,
but I
Sludge,
don't-
Scorn, and Strafe actually appeared in the film.
I don't really like these designs for the Dinobots. It's too ribby for me. You see, how you, I've been okay, just trying to get a living, trying to be a living, and trying to make good content for YouTube and Twitch.
Crying.
But I hope you're okay. And Fable's, this is my friend Fable. He's crying about Paddles the Plesiosaur.
Yeah, he's a plesiosaur.
But yeah.
Film in which they were
Just
ancient
sad.
warriors captured by the bounty hunter Lockdown. Optimus Prime freed them to help defend Hong Kong, but the arrogant Grimlock had to have a little sense knocked into him before he agreed to follow Prime's orders. They were still around in the last night, having somehow spawned mini Dinobots in their
What?
own image.
How?
The Age of Extinction Dinobots were heavily featured in the promotional material for the film, despite the fact they only appeared in the movie's final act, and several other
Wow.
series rode that wave of Dinomania. The cast of Rescue Bots all became Dinobots when they took on new dinosaur alternate modes, including Optimus Prime himself.
Wow.
The 2015 Robots in Disguise cartoon featured Dinobots as a unique subspecies of Transformer, including a new
Interesting.
incarnation of Grimlock. A whole wave
Look
of new
at it.
dinosaur-themed
It's so
combiner
goofy.
characters was released as part of the Creo building block toy range,
But yeah.
and the IDW Dinobots were joined by a new 6th member, the 2-headed alien dinosaur Strafe, the first female Dinobot, who took her
Aw.
name from the Age of Extinction character, who also had 2 heads. And lastly,
Cool.
that brings us to the upcoming Power of the Primes toy line, in which it was recently announced all 5 classic Dinobots will be appearing in their original Generation 1 forms for the first time since the original series, along with a female G1 version of Slash. But that's not all. The toys will be able to combine into a super robot named Volcanicus, a name derived
Yeah.
from one of the Creo
King
Dinobot
Volcanicus.
combiners, Volcanicon. But this isn't the first time the Dinobots have
We don't
combined.
talk about
that
this one.
dubious
Oh.
honor belongs to a fan-made mini-comic titled The Beast Within, which was included with the
good to
UK DVD release of the Generation 1 cartoon in 2004. Known
Oh,
only as
ugh.
The Beast, this misshapen Dinobot combiner was a mindless monstrosity who was a threat to Autobot and Decepticon alike. It remains to be seen if Volcanicus will be as dangerous, but we can be sure he'll munch metal, bash brains, and generally
I really
act
like the design of
prehistoric.
his head. But yeah, King Volcanicus has been a newer thing, but it honestly just makes sense. There's 5 members. Having them a combiner team just makes it even cooler. But yeah, Tucker Wolf, it's been a while. I hope you... Well, I'm glad to hear that you've been alright. I do worry about my friends when I don't hear from them in a while, but I can't really do anything about it. But yeah, it's still good to see you again. And if you guys want me to watch more stuff about the Dinobots, comment, subscribe. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? You need to do all those things, and maybe you'll see us react to stuff live on Twitch if you follow us over on Twitch down below. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all there. Bye-bye.